Auntie Martha, Auntie Alice, Uncle Paul, Auntie Beverly, and all the family members and the dearest friends. Good evening. Today, I'm so touched to see all the family members make a special effort to be here because I know you care too much. And I also be very honored to represent Bruce's family to be here to say a couple words regarding my mother. My mother, Xia Di, she's the second daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Yeh Chong, and she has a very good mother-daughter relationship with her mother because she cares about her family a lot and always put family interest on the first. My mother loves to study. At her age, she was very few ladies got her PhD degree in the United States. She's the PhD of Political Science in University of Wisconsin. My mother is a very good writer, and she's a very famous one too. And she even wrote a book talking about the love story between her and my father, and was very touched by many readers. My mother is a very sincere Christian. One of the greatest gifts she gives to our family is she leads us to believe in Jesus, to put all the difficulties on God's hand. On my mother's, I summoned the chorus on my mother's from Yeh's tradition, good Yeh's tradition, such as she always set the high standard to request herself, go extremely effort to reach her goal. And also, she's very loving, sensitive, responsible, willing to do everything for her family. And her self-discipline, self-motivated, self-sufficient is very good quality inherited from Yeh's tradition. And always fight, never give up to the highest standard that he set for himself or she set for herself. Today I'm very honored and happy that we are my mother's children. And we feel very fortunate that we can be a member of the Yeh family tree. Thank you.
So I've been asked to take through the second generation, and I'll go through as quickly and as clearly as possible, because one thing you'll notice is that there are a lot of people, and there are a lot of people named Victor for some reason. But to start with, I guess, the eldest child on my mother's side is my uncle Victor, who's currently the ambassador to Singapore for Taiwan and is living with my aunt, paying in Singapore. Along with, we have 4 children. The oldest is Esther, and she's currently a professor in Boston. She had her PhD from Cornell University in Victorian Literature, and so is now teaching that. My cousin Victor, second Victor, is most recently married actually. He and his wife Cynthia are living in New York. He's going to be starting at Goldman Sachs as an associate in the investment banking division there. Then the third child is Catherine, and she is living in Singapore with her parents. And the youngest is James, and he's in Singapore with them as well. Then the second oldest child on that side of the family is my Uncle John. And my Uncle John gave us a lovely speech on how lovely Toronto is, and he's currently a professor of finance at Zhongyuan Christian University. My Aunt Diane is retired from the University of Taipei, where she was in the accounting department. and they have 2 children. My cousin Timothy is currently interning at Salesforce.com in San Francisco. He's getting his MBA at Indiana University, so he couldn't be here tonight, but his younger sister, Rebecca, is studying right now at the University of Toronto, where she's majoring in biochemistry. The 3rd child in the family is my mother, Deborah, and there's my dad, Sam. So my father is actually headed to Beijing in a week, where he is going to. My parents lived in Beijing for about 5 years, and now he is heading back with IBM. My mother does real estate in the Bay Area in California. She's also a very successful writer, and she's published a number of novels, but right now she's focusing on short stories. I am the oldest child in the family, and I like to say that I'm the lady of the future. I just finished my work at a hedge fund based in New York, and I'm headed off to Stanford Business School in the fall. My brother, how many of you have seen either Spider-Man, Superman, Chronicles of Narnia, any of those movies? Then you've seen my brother's work. He works for Sony ImageWorks, does computer graphics for them, and he's currently in Culver City, California. Then the youngest child on my mother's side of the family is my Aunt Hannah, who can also not be here this evening, unfortunately, but she and her husband, Joseph, are in Atlanta right now, where my uncle is a minister. And their daughter, Anna, is in Oklahoma getting her PhD in education law. She's been here for husband there. So that is my mother's side of the family. And my Uncle John has a few words from the first Victor, Uncle Victor, to share with you.
I'm sorry that my brother wants me to read his letter, so I will read just a few paragraphs instead of the whole 2 pages. This is a letter written by my brother, Ambassador Victor Hu. With his permission, I will read a few paragraphs and I'll send copies to you via email if you want. Dear Auntie Alice, Auntie Marcia, Auntie Beverly, Uncle Paul, and the cousins, nephews, and the nieces, and all the relatives of Yeh's family. We have the pleasure of asking John to read this message for us. First of all, the family of the Hu's wish to thank you, Uncle Paul, and all of you, our cousins, wholeheartedly for organizing this meaningful Yeh Family Reunion. Obviously, the idea behind this reunion is to remember the past, to touch base with each other in the present, and to work together for the future. In commemorating our beloved great-grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Ye Chongqing, we are also implementing the Chinese virtue of 饮水思源. That means drinking water while appreciating its source. Although I have difficulty coming again to North America this month, due to the nature of my busy work here, we already had to take leave to fly to New York in June, July for the wedding of Junior Victor Hu, our eldest son. Hui Ying and I would like to extend to you our warm greetings with love. With respect to our family business, I believe we need a record of our family tree. We also need to tell our descendants about our family history. One of the most important printed records of our family's history is the memoir of my late mother, Xia Di, in the book entitled Tian Di You You, in which she beautifully portrayed the life of my father, General Hu Zhongnan, and their love story against the background of modern Chinese history. Auntie Yue Di, Uncle Chen, Uncle Ting, Uncle Pei, Auntie Jing, as well as Uncle Paul, all appeared in her book. The book was first published over 40 years ago in Taiwan and made a big impact. touching many hearts. A few months more editions were published, and the last one it was released in 1989 in Taipei. And we are pleased to inform you that the English translation of the book is about 80% completed, with the translation being done by Esther, our eldest daughter, who is an English literature PhD holder from Cornell University. What we need to do now is to find a proper publisher in the US and to discuss cost and distribution. We hope Uncle Paul and other relatives can give us some good practical advice. Please keep in touch. And he wrote his email address. And we wish you all good health and continued success. May God bless you. With love, Victor Wei Zhen and Hui Ying Hu. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And so just to continue with Peter Yeh, we'll talk about the Yeh family.
There, here.
Hi. I don't think it'll be as elaborate or as long or as there's a lot of cousins and relatives here. One of the stories, or many of the stories my mom used to tell me about when I was a kid, I never had any appreciation for it. And a lot of that doesn't really kick in until 30, 40, 50 years old. And you think, oh, there's something to all this stuff. It doesn't really kick in until everyone gets together. I haven't had an opportunity to get together with everybody because everybody's all over the place. California, throughout the US, or Taiwan, we have relatives internationally all over the place. That's part of the US? Yeah, okay. Anyways, my family, the Yeh family, my mom Alice, all that woman Alice, is one of the center of attractions today. I'd like to introduce my wife Cindy. We've been together for 30 years this year. My daughter Nikki, she has one introduction this evening. She's finishing university drama. My son Trevor, he's just finished off Humber in graphics and packaging design. We've all been blessed with having my mom working with us, together with us. And just a short, sweet thank you for coming. It's great to have you here. Thomas Yeh?
Be my guest. I am Thomas Yeh, and I'm the son of Yeh Family, the third son of their father, it's an occasion like this that I really feel the weight of my father, because I know how special he would consider a situation like this. So I feel very humble and very inadequate for representing his presence at this gathering today. I'm also just old enough to really bridge two generations. I actually, 30 years ago, was at Cindy and Peter's wedding, and I spent almost a year living with Auntie Shaw, and I actually shared a room with Johnny. And so whatever you think of me today, you can blame him for that. I read Kinky Yo-Yo in Finland